Leadership is a very important aspect of our national lives. However, leadership alone is not enough to take our nation out of the woods, because there are other multifaceted factors that would aid leadership. For instance, followership is also a very important aspect. If you have leadership without followership, then you cannot be able to carry out your vision as a leader. So followership is also very important. Our institutions of government are also very critical. Other arms of government, other tiers of government are equally critical in visionizing the leadership question. The truth of the matter is this: leaders don't just evolve from nowhere. Leaders come from the same society that encompass the entire citizenry of a nation. So leaders are part of a society. So it is the characteristics of the society that throw up leadership, because they all evolve from the same society. So the barometer, that is what to use to test the capacity of a leader, the character of a leader, is from the society from which they all evolve from. So when you see a leader being thrown up, you also look at it, how is the society? So because they all erupt from the same society. So they don't just come from a vacuum or from nowhere. They erupt from the same society. So it's the society that gives birth to leadership. So when there is a leadership challenge, there is also a citizen's challenge. There is also a societal challenge. So we have to look at it from an all-encompassing perspective. There is no gainsaying that good leadership is needful for societal transformation, for nation building. You have to understand from the theoretical perspective. I can start from there. There are various leadership theories. We have the threat theory, we have the behavioral theory, we have the contingency theory of leadership, transactional, transformational theory of leadership, we have situational theory of leadership. All these come to fore and present their own unique features. And for instance, when we are talking about transformational leadership, we are looking at a leadership that inspires and motivates a team towards achieving a common goal. When we look at situational leadership, we are looking at how leaders function in every situation as they meet it. Contingency leadership is also an offshoot of situational leadership, where the leadership functionalities are contingent on the followers and the situation in which they meet. Threat leadership emphasizes that leadership are born with some traits like intelligence, like competence, some unique traits, while the behavioral theory looks at leadership from the perspective that a leader mirrors the behavior of the environment and the followers. This also affects the leadership style. We have various leadership styles. From the leadership theory also emanates leadership style. We can look at the democratic leadership style. We can also think of the laissez-faire leadership style. We can look at the transactional, transformational leadership style. We can also look at the autocratic leadership style, servant leadership style. Recall, even in the scripture, in Mark chapter 9, verse 35, Jesus Christ called his disciples together and said, he who aspires to be the first must be, first of all, servant of all. A leader must be someone with a huge amount of humility. A leader must be open. A leader must be accommodating. That is why Lao Tse Tung say, It is the reason why many rivers and seas receive the homage of 100 mountain streams, because they are always below them. The mountain streams are on top of the mountain, but because the leader is down, he's able to receive the homage of 100 mountain streams. Now, you cannot be proud and expect people to gravitate towards you. You have to be humble, you have to be receptive, you have to be tolerant, you have to be accommodating. This is what builds trust. One of the main issues of leadership in our society is trust. Once you're able to gain the trust of your followers, it is easy to influence them. It is easy for them to do what you want them to do. If you have a very nice vision, for instance, I can tell you that the vision of Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu is laudable. However, there is a gap, there is a disconnect between his policies and the orientation that people have. That is why there is this disconnect. If only he can win their trust, they will be able to see that he actually means well in the medium and long run. Of course, in the short run, there are challenges as we are facing them. Inflation is biting, food prices are skyrocketing. However, I can assure you, as a development economist, that these policies are well thought out and there is light at the end of the tunnel. The business strategies, I can authoritatively tell you that the president is getting it on the right direction. Like I've emphasized earlier, transformation, especially when things have gone bad, is not easy to build over time. Destruction is easy, but rebuilding or reconstruction takes time, and that's why we're experiencing a lot of hiccups. However, I can assure you that we are moving in the right direction. You can see we experience a trade surplus, which is unprecedented. A lot of states are no longer borrowing because of the subsidy removal. They have more funds to play around with. Our debt to GDP is actually not growing, it is reducing. I mean, there are a lot of positive things, and you can see a lot of foreign direct investments coming in. A lot of people are coming in. Nigeria has become, or is becoming, a haven of investors. These are positive signs, and it will mean well in the near foreseeable future. I'm sure before the end of this first tenure, we'll see a whole lot of business opportunities and economic transformation. So saddening to hear almost on a daily basis of loss of lives and property. There has been serious attempts in the past to unravel the remote causes of this crisis. But the major challenge has been that when white papers are written, no actionable steps are taken to attend to the recommendations of the findings of the administrative committees that are always set up. So that is one of the major problems. When people when investigations are carried out and we see people that are culpable but are not dealt with according to our laws, there is bound to be lawlessness. People feel that they can also do it and get away with it. So it's my clarion call is that all those administrative inquiries, those white papers that had been written should be revisited, and those found culpable in this crisis should be dealt with, even posthumously. This will serve as a deterrent to others coming up. Secondly, we must preach peace. We must preach peaceful coexistence. I recall in the 80s, we used to live amongst ourselves. I understand that climate change and its attendant negative consequences of desertification has forced these herdsmen to encroach more within the farmlands. Formerly, it was not so. There used to be grazing routes. I think government has been making efforts with the establishment of the livestock ministry. I think they should embrace modern system of animal husbandry. It will help a lot. And we should learn to tolerate one another, and we should learn to be our brother's keeper. Peace is a panacea for development, without which we can have no meaningful development. So it is my clarion call for everyone at every quarter of the national hierarchy to embrace peace. I know that the government is doing well. We just started experiencing a spike. For the better part of this administration, I can assure you that there has been tremendous progress recorded in terms of taming insecurity. We just started experiencing spike, and of course, just like we talked about 2027, it is also not unconnected with the upcoming elections. We know that there are faith columnists, you understand, but I believe that with the security apparatus in place, that they should be able to curtail and contain the security challenges. This is my prayer and this is my hope. In the United Nations, we have 8 characteristics of good governance. We have participation, we have responsiveness, we have consensus driving, we have vision orientation, we have a whole lot of these characteristics. They make for good governance. Now, as for leadership, I will advocate for situational and transformational combined kind of leadership, because you have to look at the situation you are and you have to be transformational oriented. And I believe that once these two come together with the economic activities already carrying up production, consumption, distribution, and also with the economic indicators looking up, I believe that the government can do much more better. One of the areas in which I would want the government to really focus on is the area of boosting our export. In times past, that was even during the colonial era, up to when the 4th National Development Plan was jettisoned by the Ibrahim Babangida administration, we were doing so well in terms of export of our primary goods, like agriculture, like mining. These were what we are sustaining our economy. We still have these mineral resources. We have arable land for agriculture in abundance. We can only go back to this, because this is the only sure way we can be able to boost our economy and be able to make our naira stronger. Recall during the national development planning, there was better planning. We have jettisoned it. We have to go back to our national development plan. Look at a country like India, for instance. We started our national development plan at almost the same time. They are on their 18th 5-year national development plan. You can see that because they have been faithful to this national development plan, they have been able to record a whole lot of achievements in area of health, IT, even military. So we have to go back to national development planning. The embracement of the Bretton Woods plan templates actually served us as an economic ideological shift from our national development plan. And up to date, we've not been able to find our feet. I urge the government to look at these two critical aspects, export and return to national development planning. You already know my name. My name is Kyauta Bawa, an ambassador for peace and also a professor of leadership and business strategy from the American University of Peace and Governance. I'm also a banker and I'm an academic. I have 7 masters. I also possess a PhD in business administration, majoring in marketing management. And I've written a whole lot of articles and journals, academic high-end journals. I'm also a community development person. I also help the indigents in the society through scholarship and other means as practicable as possible. It's not easy to combine all this together, but I have a very understanding family, and anytime I'm with them, I ensure I give them the quality time they deserve. When as you came in, you saw a lot of books, so it's either I'm resting or I'm reading. The advice I will have for my brothers and sisters, both home and abroad, is that they should be patriotic. The grass is not always greener on the other side. A lot of people, I can tell you, are coming from abroad, even from medical services in Nigeria, especially Lagos and Abuja, because it is expensive there. It is not Uhuru out there. Nigeria is still one of the cheapest country to live in. I would like our brothers and sisters to show a high sense of patriotism to their own motherland.
Took out time to outline what the President is doing to boost national economy, and also it took out time to speak out to us the quality and criteria of good leadership, in which every one of us need to be embedded in us so as to be good leaders out there. I also took out time to advise Nigerians home and abroad to be patriotic in coming together so as to make our nation a better one. So I come here again, I remain the host, Joseph Uzwa from the religion. Bye for now.